Upscale restaurant in Yellowknife? I sure hope so, because that's what we're here to do. We're trying the fanciest restaurant in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. Let's go to dinner together, and I'll be sharing my thoughts throughout the meal, so stay tuned. Trader's Grill is a restaurant inside the Explorer Hotel in Yellowknife in the Northwestern Territories. Yellowknife is one of Canada's Arctic cities. All of Canada's Arctic cities are in the territories. That gorgeous view on rocks. Fun fact, the oldest rock on Earth has been found in Yellowknife. So the rocks here are like a big part of the landscape. Some shots of the menu here. I mean, we're looking at $50 burgers. I would not say by any measure that that's a cheap menu. Of course, there are more expensive fine dining menus, but this was, like the video indicates, the best menu in town. That's a shot of the restaurant. This is me nervously about to film eating by myself for over an hour. First thing that came out was the bread, and here we are. There's me tasting it. Yes, I know, for someone that's been on YouTube for years, I should have filmed this horizontally, but I love you for watching, okay? So let's keep watching and learning together, and wait until you see some of the dishes later in this video. The bread, I mean, I have to say right away, the illusion of like an upscale place is shattered when I'm getting like butter in a plastic container. Like, what is that? Why? How really hard is it? There are casual restaurants in town that smear like a knob of butter on the plate to make it look artisanal. So this was just like lazy. The bread, as you can see by my highly enthused face, something was wrong with it. It was like super hard on the outside, and on the inside, like the slightest touch would make it crumble. You see like all the crumbs on the cutting board that it came with, all those white crumbs. So the inside would like waste into thin air, and again, the outside was hard. This was a New England chowder I ordered, you know, a little suspicious inherently ordering chowder like way up in the Arctic. But here's the thing, right? It could have very easily been a fun play on chowder. And in the Arctic, I mean, some of the best food when it comes to protein sources is found around here. Slave Lake, that is like the lake of Yellowknife and the deepest lake in Canada. I think second deepest in the world. Side note, did you see how thin this was? So the broth was like white water. It wasn't like the creamy chowder. But anyways, so I had high hopes for this because in that lake, they do have some of the world's biggest fish are consistently caught in that lake. Trout, whitefish, inconnu, all of these fish. Pike, like it could easily have had hearty chunks of fish. This clam chowder or this whatever chowder had like the biggest food in it was like chops of bacon, which if you know chowder, you know they flavor it with that at the bottom of the pan. The biggest foods in here were what looked like frozen microscopic clams and like the tiniest shreds of meat that were so small I couldn't identify what it was. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like frozen salmon from another source or something like that. This was the Arctic char. Now, when I tell you I had high hopes for this one, I had high hopes for this one. My first time eating Arctic char, and yes, I made it myself. It was like an emotional experience. Like I didn't know fish could taste like that. Buttery, creamy, amazing, smooth. The char comes with a thick layer of fat because it's an Arctic fish. And once you peel that away, because I don't eat the skins, it just reveals like the most moist, glistening skin. I cannot tell you how poorly cooked this fish was. It was just the hardest chunk of fish. That fish was so dry. There was nothing glistening, nothing moist about it. The sauce was good. The vegetables were good. The rice, I swear, looks microwaved. Look at the fish. Like, do you see how stiff that fish is? And in a few seconds, I'm about to show you like the whole fish standing up. Fish shouldn't do that, right? Like if the fish is properly cooked, it is going to flake. No matter whether it's an orange type of fish, like a salmon or a trout or a char, or whether it's a whitefish. Look at this slab of fish. Why is it standing ready for duty? Because it's, well, you read what the meme says. It's effing dry, okay? So that was like, to me, I mean, Arctic char is like the pride and joy of the Northwest Territories. They butchered like the gem of the region. It was so bad. The next day I got ready to go. Cold salmon fillets that I ate in the parking lot, they were better than the cooked $40, $50 plate at the best restaurant in Yellowknife. This risotto, I mean, I think that meme about dryness applies again. Did you see the bottom of the plate? There's nothing there. Like, there's no moisture to this risotto. It has clumped together. I don't know if you can tell when the plate moves. It moves as one. Hashtag united we stand. I mean, here's the thing. I post these videos and I'm like, oh God, I want to give them something to be happy about. I want to give them something to look at. But most of all, I want to give you guys the truth, right? I don't want, I picture like my own parents when I was young, like hardworking people working for like, weeks or months to afford a certain thing and then coming here. I don't want you to come here thinking it's the best thing on earth because some YouTuber told you only good things. And then you're like, Pam, it sucked. Like everybody hated the food. I want you to know the truth. And sometimes the truth of these places is damn disappointing. This is the bison. Look at the knob of fat in the middle, like that differently colored part that I pointed to when I first showed the bison. The portion is huge, I'll give you that. The mashed potatoes, I don't know if you saw me take a bite of that. It's like stiff. Like everything in this restaurant is like bricked up, ready for duty. Like I don't know why these foods are stiff, my man. But the bison, a crazy amount of fat in it. And I know bison is a meat that has fat. And this video for me, I put so much damn effort into this video. This was the first time in like 5 years I'd had red meat because I don't eat red meat. And I took, I think, 2 or 3 bites for you guys so you would know the truth of the best restaurant in the Canadian Arctic. The grill marks, I mean, of course, that's always going to add some flavor to the meat. Like, it was okay. It was overcooked, I felt. I don't know if you see on these like zoom ins of the cuts I'm giving you. It was overcooked, covered in fat. I would happily, look at that fat chunk right in the middle of the meat. I would happily have taken a smaller serving size that had less fat in it because to me, it is about quality, not quantity. Here, the waitress came up. Listen, it's not her fault, right? So that scene is fake AF. But she didn't cook this food. And I think she kind of even knew that some of the food was problematic because I could tell as she would put certain dishes on the plate, she was like, like nervous to put some things on the plate, on the table, I mean. Again, look at the fat cuts on this meat. I mean, the portion size, again, if you're into that massive portion, but even then, not really, because you're going to throw away so much of it that's fat. This is some of the fat trimmings I ended up taking. So for these plates, you probably noticed or you probably realized, like, I'm not finishing these plates. I'm taking my 2 or 3 bites. That is the bill. Plus, I did leave a nice tip. I hope it was considered a nice tip. So my bill came to about $200. Anyway, so I'm not finishing these plates. Like I just take the few bites and bring them back to my family. And some family members like a little bit of fat. So personally, me, I would have left even more trimmings on the end of that bison plate. That being said, it was definitely the best entree of the night. Definitely. And so regional to here, like the Northwest Territories has the largest herd of wild bison anywhere in the world. This is the view outside the hotel. Again, you can see with a taxidermied polar bear. You can see with the fact that the highest view in Yellowknife is from this hotel. Like for the region, right? This is the most luxurious thing here. Am I happy I went? Of course I'm happy I went. It's a privilege to be able to taste all of these different foods in these different places. How would I rank the food 1 to 10? I mean, if we're going to rank it for the fact that like it's a miracle that this is what the Arctic has become and we have these foods and these standards of dining and these luxurious buildings, from that perspective, it's obviously skewed, right? Like it's a 10. It's a miracle that this stuff is here. People used to die from the cold, like the first colonizers, mind you, that came here because the indigenous are just masters of the landscape. But the people that first came here used to like not live through the month, through the winter. So from that perspective, to be able to be served all these luxury dishes, yeah, we made it. Started from the bottom, now we're here. But from the perspective of like putting this restaurant up against any fine dining restaurant in Toronto or New York or LA, this was not it. It was like a 2 out of 10 in terms of the food itself. The char was brutal. Brutal. There's a video on YouTube of like these 3 men going to catch Arctic char in the Northwest Territories. They literally find like human remains on their fishing trip because people are so passionate about catching these fish, it literally like consumes them and they get lost in these wildly remote places. Like it's the hunt of a lifetime catching Arctic char. And that's how they did it at this restaurant. I wouldn't even be surprised if it was frozen. Thank you for watching. That is my review of the best restaurant in the Arctic. What did you think? Would you come here? Have you maybe been here already? Do you think you'll ever go to the Canadian Arctic at all yourself? This is some of the most beautiful landscapes I've ever seen. The nature, 20 out of 10. Thank you for watching. We post luxury content multiple times a week on this channel, and so I will see you on the next one. We post every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and click subscribe.